Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Good Day LA at 6 o'clock. I am Melvin Robert.
And I'm Roxy Carabadian in for Jen Lammers. We are tracking breaking news of a mid-air crash that happened in Washington, D.C. between a passenger plane and an Army Black Hawk helicopter. 64 people were on board the plane and 3 were on board the helicopter. Officials are expecting to hold a news conference in Kansas any minute now, and when that happens, we will take you there. In the meantime, officials are saying that there are no survivors from that collision involving that commuter jet and that Army helicopter.
Gigi Graciette is joining us now with more on what we know about that crash. Gigi, good morning.
Certainly a sad day in the United States, and again, officials now saying that a total of 67 people were aboard both the helicopter and the military and the airplane. And this morning, sadly, what started as a rescue mission is now a recovery one, with, again, officials saying they don't believe there are any survivors. The crash happened at 8:48 p.m. Eastern Time last night. This video from EarthCam capturing the deadly moment in the air over D.C.'s Reagan Airport. That fireball in the red circle, that is American Eagle Flight 5342 colliding with an Army Black Hawk helicopter. While attempting to land at Ronald Reagan National Airport, the commuter plane had departed from Wichita, Kansas. Owned by American Airlines, they have confirmed the flight was full, with 60 passengers and 4 crew members aboard. The chopper, which was on a training flight, had 3 soldiers aboard. And while there has not been any official confirmation on who any of the victims are, many who say they knew them are speaking out already. And as we are learning, many were from the national and international figure skating community. In Reston, Virginia, at SkateQuest, a popular ice skating ring where many figure skaters and hockey players train, they say at least one of their coaches was on American Eagle Flight 5342. We're not going to use any of the names of the people believed to have been killed until they are confirmed. But again, at SkateQuest, they say they're already planning on how to tell the many students that their coach trained what happened.
My heart goes out to her family and to all of her kids. I mean, there are so many students she's had over the years. She's been a part of this community for 20 some odd years. It's horrible. For most of us, we're in complete shock. This is a small community, and this is one of like a member of the family. Like it's crazy to think that this has happened to us.
Now live to Kansas, where that briefing is underway.
Dalton Glasscock, Mike Hoheisel, and Brandon Johnson. First and foremost, I want to address that our hearts are heavy. Our hearts are heavy as a city. Our hearts are heavy as a city council. And we are here to provide the support needed for our community and all who have been affected. We are still learning minute by minute additional details about this tragedy, and we will share those details and confirmed information when we receive that. I want to first thank also the first responders in Washington, D.C., who have worked tirelessly throughout the night. And at this time, we have been told that there are no survivors. We mourn with all those who have been impacted. This is a terrible tragedy that will unite those in Washington, D.C. and Wichita, Kansas forever. As we know, an American Airlines jet carrying 64 people plunged into the Potomac River after colliding in midair with an Army helicopter on Wednesday night. We're hearing recovery teams in Washington, D.C. had pulled more than 24 bodies from the icy waters. We do not know yet final confirmation on all of the individuals who were on that flight. And of course, we will share that information, but not before families have been first contacted. Congressman Ron Estes is here with us this morning, and I would like to invite him to say a few words.
Well, Thank you, Mayor Wu, and thank you for all of the city council members for holding this press conference to help share this information. This is such a tragic day for our community. So many of us will be touched by people that we know directly or indirectly that were victims of this tragic tragedy that happened. You know, overnight I was in contact with the White House Situation Room, getting updates as they were going through the process. Spoke last night with the chairwoman of the National Transportation Safety Board as well. And at that point in time, their investigation was they were getting prepared for that, but they were waiting for the search and rescue efforts to conclude before they started that investigation. So I know this is going to be a tragedy that touches our community. We have such a steep history of being involved in aviation. And being a close-knit community like we are, it's going to have consequences for years to come. I do want to make a general comment about air safety in general. I mean, we have the safest skies in any country in the world. And when a tragic incident like this happens, obviously we want to do the investigation, which will take days and weeks to go through that process, and to make sure that we can prevent accidents like this from happening in the future. And so I appreciate all of the updates we'll have this morning. I know there'll be more coming out, both from here in Wichita as well as in D.C. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Congressman. We also have a representative for Senator Jerry Moran, who will share a statement as well.
Mayor, thank you. I'm Mike Zammerslow with United States Senator Jerry Moran's office. The senator asked me to share the following statement on his behalf. Wichita is located in the heart of our nation, and today we are grieving. I received confirmation this morning that no one survived the crash of American Airlines Flight 5342. This is a sad.
You've been listening there to a briefing there in Wichita where they're discussing what occurred, and now we do know that they are confirming at this point no survivors. Of course, it was so cold. Yeah. Hours have gone by. It's been an unusually cold winter in D.C. That river full of ice, which was one of the challenges they were dealing with when this initially occurred. Just heartbreaking.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. The friends and family who are waiting to get word on what happened, it just really breaks your heart.
Oh, yeah, they shared that they've so far they've pulled a dozen bodies out of that icy cold Potomac River. Of course, they're not going to release the names of those individuals until they've had an opportunity to communicate with the families. But yeah, I mean, it is just, it's so tragic. And of course, they're still learning up to the minute, you know, about details about the tragedy, and they're going to share more information as they confirm it, as it becomes available. But nonetheless, I mean, and even this coach who trained so many of these young kids and having to break that news to the community.
Oh, it's awful. Some parents, I believe, were also on that flight. So the black boxes, of course, when it comes to investigations like this, are going to be crucial. They're going to provide a lot of information. One of the things we are learning also is that air traffic control was in contact, of course, with the Black Hawk helicopter, and up to the moment before it happened said, are you seeing this? There's a plane in front of you. And they said, yes, we see it. And less than 13 seconds later, that is when that implosion occurred. So what happened in that short amount of time? They're saying visibility was fine, according to officials. So many questions. It just breaks your heart because they were just seconds away from landing. I know. Seconds away from landing and walking away from this tragedy.